Hey everyone, coming at you with a video today covering another part of the curriculum, so take notes. Introduction to hostage rescue. We're just going to say general rescue, evacuation, extrication in general, because it has all kinds of applicability and crossover. Hostage rescue teams are normally military or police units that are dedicated to these situations, but there are times when clients have the need for private units or teams. Yes, we train in this. It's very rare for a client to have the need or resources to employ a full-time hostage rescue team. It is very intense, and team members need to be rotated on a 2 to 4 week turnaround. Normally using 5 guys per team on one shift on a daily basis, having 3 shifts, working 8 hours maximum. Obviously, this would be the ideal scenario and be categorized as very high risk, a definite threat involved. Obviously, this is getting into some of the most dangerous stuff you can do, being MOUT, CQC, CQB, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to rescue operations. So, keep that in mind. Building rescue procedures. Composition of team members should be 5 guys, 2 pairs, and 1 team leader to control for an ideal operation. Most times we use 3 guys who rotate positions and roles with the current situation. Prior intelligence. The information you have. Team leader and members need as much intelligence as possible. So number of attackers, cultural background, race of the attackers, the language spoken, clothing of the attackers, what they're wearing, weapons and equipment that they have, and what you guys have in inventory. Take inventory of your kit. Method of entry and building plans, details of the client, their dress, what they're wearing, and medical, if they have needs or they have pre-existing conditions, whatever it is. Location of the client and the attackers. Location of any other friendly personnel. So are they being held in the same building or a known building to you? Are they being held somewhere else? Are you going to have to rapidly augment an advance plan, as talked about in prior video, to contribute to doing what you need to do to conduct said rescue. With entry, identify all points or identify all possible means of entry. Enter by covert means where possible. Enter by the roof or highest floor if possible. Can you guys climb a building? Do you have access to that? Do you have rappel and abseil capabilities? I mean, that's pretty advanced, but you never know. What are and secure all entry points. Room clearance. Again, this is some of the most dangerous stuff that you can do. Mach and CQB. Now, this is seriously some of the most dangerous shit that you can do, okay? So, this takes a lot of training to be able to operate and do this kind of thing very proficiently. To rescue anyone. Not just the hostage categorization, subcategorization, just rescue in general. Extraction in general. Work in pairs. Check and clear doors. If locked, use means to bust open. Entering room, identify targets before engaging with fire. Check all hiding places and for other doors. Means of segue. Room clear. Try to secure and lock, if at all possible, door wedges or tape so everyone knows it's clear. Some kind of marking. There's multiple things you could do. X's on doors with some kind of note, whatever. Movement. Clear rooms and building progressively, room by room and floor by floor. All stairways, when cleared, should be held and secured. Work in teams, fire maneuver, room by room. Again, some of the worst, most high stress, most dangerous shit that you could do, okay? Control the situation. Try to avoid being silhouetted or illuminated. Use the building's lighting to your advantage. Lighting and darkness and shadow. Fast and aggressive movement through the building. There's a certain individual out there that stresses this with his training in his videos, and people know who I'm talking about. It is very good and very applicable for this kind of thing, because that's what they specialize in. Use flashbangs or concussion grenades if you got them. Building clear. Ensure all attackers are either dead or taken prisoner or all secured. Make sure the principal is safe, or whoever, the VIP, the person you're rescuing. We call him the principal. You can call him a VIP. You know, whatever you want to codify that. Route out of building, secure and safe. Coordinate with medical agencies if needed. Mobile rescue procedures. Team consisting of 4 to 5 guys positioned in one vehicle. Their vehicle to follow the client's convoy in distance for a fast response time of 1 minute. Watch the flow of traffic and adapt accordingly, if any. Keep communication up and running. Event of an ambush. Or for ambush tactics. Move in fast and very aggressively. Use flashing lights and sirens to get attention. Cover the client's vehicle. Use smoke. Return fire. Well-aimed covering fire. Give window of escape for the client. Remove client from the threat. Escort or take to safe house or hospital, whatever. Rescue dynamic entries. Dynamic entry is just that. Dynamic, fluid, and has the potential to rapidly change in circumstance and dimension at any moment. The potential for violence and lethal confrontation are extremely high. In general, to reduce the potential for lethal confrontation and the destruction of evidence, the entry must be conducted rapidly and forcefully. The team must seize the site quickly, dominating every person and areas inside it without delay or hesitation. Some people hate this term, but action of violence has meaning for a reason. Technical principles. Use your eyes and ears. People commonly search with their eyes using vision bands beginning at a particular focal distance. Again, right to left is a lot better than left to right, opposite of how you read. Unfortunately, the pressure of searching an armed advisory using bands has a pronounced tendency to fixate visual focus at a specific distance. So, concentric layering outward and inward. This can easily cause you to walk by uncomfortably close proximity with an opponent, or fail to locate him at longer ranges. By changing eye focus in and out and changing your line of sight to cover the exposed areas, this problem can be avoided. You may find it unnatural to begin with, but with practice it becomes immensely more effective. Never turn your back on anything you have not cleared. Retain the advantage and search systematically. Make sure that all walls and enclosed areas are checked thoroughly before turning your attention to another area. What you miss can kill you. You do not chase suspects through a location passing uncleared areas. If you can engage them at distance, engage them at distance. Stay away from corners and maximize distance to potential threat areas. This will create a reactionary gap between you and your opponent, allowing time to think and take the correct action. Take corners and walls wide. Move correctly. Do not bounce around. Apply the proper movement techniques so you have the ability to fire your weapon accurately and immediately. You must maintain the ability to return fire and fire when necessary. You must correctly practice and use proper shooting on-the-move techniques. Failure to maintain a weapons platform or gun mount will break down your ability to protect yourself with accurate fire. In addition, failure to apply these methods will reduce your control of an adversary by presenting him a less than dominant appearance and may increase the likelihood of a confrontation. Watch your front sight. Shooting accurately the first time, placing your rounds exactly where you need them is likely to result in fewer rounds being fired. General effects of stress in operational situations. Visual blocking, tunnel vision, seeing black and white only. Respiratory distress, escalated breathing pattern. Audio blocking, sounds are muffled and faint, unable to hear at times, unable to speak at times, will revert back to your native language. Increased heart rate, your heart rate will escalate as if you were running. That's adrenaline, baby. Inability to perform. Your ability to complete detailed specific tasks and technical movements are greatly reduced. Fine motor skills, even gross motor skills, are affected. You fall back to your lowest level of proficient training. Target fixations. You will stare at the perceived threat and block out all other threats to the area. So those are things to not do. Team composition. There are a multitude of variable circumstances that will dictate the size, training, and configuration of a team. These margins of error and danger are extremely high during these operations, so we tend to use personnel of specific training and operational backgrounds. Remember, this is a simple and very generic structure that can be modified to meet your specific requirements. Types of room entry methods. There exist many different methods of room clearing techniques there, but here are 4. The button hook, your crisscross, your combination, and your slicing techniques. Button hook. The operators are staged at the door. He steps into the threshold of the doorway and reverses direction into the room and rapidly clears the entry point kill zone. Move continuously to a point of domination in the room. Recommended use of this method is for large doorways, also used to back up and provide coverage for the first operator in the room if he crisscrosses. Positive. It allows the operator to enter from a stage position and provides a method of clearing the 90-degree angle to the first operator's back as he enters. The negative, the operator has a tendency to drop the head and weapon momentarily upon entry into the room. In addition, the footwork is a little more difficult and not as smooth as the crisis as the crisscross to maintain gunpoint. The crisscross operators are staged on the doorway. They're on gunpoint and move directly across the doorway threshold into the room rapidly, clearing the entry point kill zone. They move to their points of domination in the room, basically continuously walking in a straight line into the room and covering a 90-degree angle as they move. A general rule is that the operators on the hinge side of the door is the low man and the first in the room. Recommended use of this method is for all standard doorways. This may not be used for large doorways as described with the button hook. The positive, this allows the operator to maintain his footing in direction of travel, allowing good gunpoint control while moving directly to the 90-degree angle with little difficulty. The negative, must cross completely across the doorway while entering. So it's, 2 guys across each other. The combination. First operator button hooks and the second operator leans over to the first while moving into the room. Second is covering and moving to the first cover is back as he penetrates the entry to the entry point kill zone. To begin, the team is stacked on the doorway. The first operator button hooks and the second is crisscrossing. So if that makes sense. Slicing techniques. Operator slices the doorway prior to the physical entry, allowing eyes to the objective before entering room. The operator maintains maximum distance from the threat area while slicing. With this technique, 75 to 80% of a room can be cleared without entering. Slice into pie. Control from the exterior of the room, and this is a real advantage of the method prior entering. This is using to open doors to rooms. The operator stacked to the doorway. The first slices were doorway, then himself, and team operator can now crisscross through the doorway. When closed doors are presented, the operators will stage automatically on both sides of the door, and the door will be breached or opened, and the operators enter the crisscross fashion. Common mistakes. Silhouetting the muzzle of the weapon into the room, or into the threat room prior to entry. This is a direct failure to slice properly or moving improperly and evaluating terrain you're operating in. Operators fail to enter the room simultaneously, and there's a long time between the operators and in the doorway. Someone's getting killed. Failure to cover... focus. Failure to cover 90-degree angles immediately upon entry. Operators tend to focus on the center of the room. Failure to communicate with each other. You must communicate. You must communicate your intentions and desires to other team members rapidly, briefly, and coherently. Regular practice. This is up training that's happening all the time with active shooter training for law enforcement as well, regularly now, as a side note. Failure to remain calm. Adrenaline overload and lack of emotional control under stress. I have talked ad nauseum before about stress inoculation and proper mental conditioning for doing these kinds of things. This is at times the most difficult single thing to overcome and fight through. Failure to maintain gunpoint stance while moving, shooting on the move should be practiced. Most people cannot do this. Flat rangers need not apply. No, you got to do some serious work on a flat range. You have to have dynamic movement involved. You also have to have force on force training involved. All right, so, and that is from some prior official sector training. Now, to go along with that rescue operation stuff, dynamic entry stuff, you can't really see that, so that's one of the trainings. Rio de Janeiro, baby. Circa 2008, 2009. Can't really show that to you because it's in Portuguese and I don't know Portuguese. We were given that book in Portuguese. I don't know why. But we were given great abridging between the Brazilian instructors as well as our cadre for the program, which was a mix of British, American, and other foreign professionals. So it was an outstanding team of people. So with that, basis of rescue operations. Okay, so keep that in mind. Make sure you go back, take notes. As with all of the videos in this series, I've done the vehicle stuff before, I've done advanced and kind of threat assessment intelligence stuff in prior video. That covered the basics of general rescue operations as it applies. Kind of got to understand what you're getting into. There's a lot to it. There's a lot more to it. I mean, this overview manual from training in the that initial company and stuff is just glossing the surface in a lot of things, but it's important stuff and it's very educational, and there's a lot of information there I think people don't know. What you don't know, you don't know. So, yeah. If you have questions, please articulate them. No walls of word vomit. Articulate them. Have paragraph breaks. Whatever else. That is very appreciated. It makes it easy for me to read so I can answer your question. Or questions. Otherwise, yeah. A little bit more of that stuff coming soon. Professional level curricular stuff in the mix. So there's going to be some more updates on camouflage stuff coming soon too. But with that, thanks, and more stuff coming soon, both in that series and otherwise. Metal up.